Hey A-Team, I'm back bringing you my go-to everyday makeup routine. I hope you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Love you for watching. Thank you. Hey A-Team, so today I'm going to jump right into this tutorial. I'm starting off on freshly prepped skin, freshly washed, and I'm applying Wet n Wild PhotoFocus Matte Face Primer. For me, this product acts as both a moisturizer and a face primer. Since I'm very oily, this helps to mattify my skin and just give me that skin-like effect that I go for when I apply my foundation. It's very important to apply a primer to your face and have a barrier between your skin and the makeup. So I apply that all over my face. Then I go in with the MayBelline Master Prime Face Studio Primer. And now for this product, I only apply this to my T-zone, and I don't use as much product as I would use for the Wet n Wild face primer. I just set that into my T-zone where I get really oily. Apply a little bit of Maybelline Baby Lips to just moisturize my lips. And I'm going to go ahead and get started on brows. So for eyebrows, I'm going to go in with the AnaStasia Beverly Hills DipBrow in the color Chocolate. For beginners, I always suggest that people use pencils. They're just a little bit easier to manipulate and control, and the shading is way more buildable than when you go in with a pomade. It's going to be way more pigmented. So if you want something that's a little bit more buildable and forgiving of any mistakes you make, I would suggest definitely starting off with a pencil. Anastasia Beverly Hills makes a good pencil. I always recommend for people just beginning out on their eyebrows. So you don't need to focus too much in the front, because once you conceal, it'll bring everything together. Excuse my little shimmy. I'm playing some music in the background just to keep me entertained while I record for you lovely ladies. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep filling in any sparse areas, not being too careful because I already know that all my little mistakes are going to be cleaned up once I go ahead and apply my concealer. So I'll just fill in, create that shape, and you're going to go in later and better define that shape when you use your concealer. So it's not super imperative that you stay in all the lines and color neatly just yet. So I'm just going ahead and filling up. This was definitely not my most shiny moment when it comes to eyebrows, but you ladies that do makeup know that eyebrows are give and take. You have good eyebrow days, you have bad eyebrow days. Hair is hair. Cooperates when it wants to cooperate. And tonight my eyebrows were not cooperating. So I forgive myself and I go ahead and fix that with the LA Girl ProConceal. I'm using the color Cool Tan, and I'm just going to clean up and line the bottom of my eyebrows. And this is about a shade or two lighter than my skin. So I use that to create like a nice freshly done eyebrow effect, even though Lord knows it's very rare when I touch my eyebrows. They are sparse enough without me allowing people to poke and prod and pluck at them. So Every now and then I take my tweezer and just clean it up when it gets too unruly. But for the most part, I hide all my sins with makeup. So I'm just going ahead, and this is a little overkill. I usually don't apply the concealer to my eyelid unless I'm doing a eyeshadow look that I want to be more bold or outstanding, or I need the colors to pull through. But for the sake of this tutorial, I gave you an in-depth, detailed look at how I do my makeup. Some of these things are not things that I do every day because ain't nobody got time for that. So, just blending, and that's the key to makeup. Just blend, blend, blend. Again, showing no self-control, dancing to the music, so just don't mind me. So for the top of my eyebrow, I like to line it with my foundation. So it just comes off more natural looking. Once I apply my foundation, I don't have to worry about trying to blend that color down so much. And I also use a concealer that's not too off from my natural skin, so it all ends up blending together fairly nicely. So see how messy they were before, and now they're coming together nice and neatly. I take my spoolie and just clean it up and go back and forth until you get it right. It's the lovely thing about makeup. It's no right or wrong. You just go back and forth, correct whatever you feel needs correcting. So now I like to go in with my Sonia Kashuk Beauty Blender. I love this thing. I don't tend to use other brands. I just Sonia Kashuk all day. You can pick them up right at Target. I believe they're under $10. So I'm just applying my foundation here. And I don't like to use too much foundation. I just use 1 or 2 pumps, and that basically covers me all the way around. So the color I'm going in with today is 330 Toffee Caramel. This is the MayBelline SuperStay. And ladies, I'm going to tell you right now, I love this foundation for a drugstore foundation. It's a beautiful formula. It's nice and thick and blendable. It's a really good drugstore foundation. You definitely get your bang for your little bucks there. So now I'm just going to conceal under my eyes. And I like to conceal one side, let that sit and kind of dry a little bit. I'm using the same shade that I used for under my brow, which was the Cool Tan. And I'm just going to let that sit for a little moment. This is another thing that I did that's a bit overkill for me. I hardly ever apply the concealer directly to my forehead, my nose, my cubic bow. I hardly ever do that, but I wanted to teach you guys the proper way. Don't take shortcuts like me. Do the right thing. So while I let the concealer kind of set under my eyebrow, under my eyelid, under my eyes, excuse me. While I let that set under my eyes and dry a little bit, I went ahead and just did my eyeshadow. I just used one shade from the Jaclyn Hill Morphie palette. It's the Ring the Alarm palette, and I used the shade Mugshot. So I just went ahead and just added a little bit of that. and went ahead and blended that in. So on top of the ProConceal and Cool Tan, which is very close to my complexion, I went ahead and wanted to brighten that up a little bit. So to brighten it up, I used the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind color corrector. This was in the shade 140 Honey. So I'm going to go ahead and set that in and see how it starts to look like skin and not so much makeup. So while that just sets on my face, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I contour. Your face already has the lines and the shapes for it. It's just up to you to find out where those are for you on your face. So I like to use the Wet n Wild contour makeup stick, and that was in the shade 806 Where's Walnut. I just feel like that gives me a little more precise line to go ahead and blend against. And for my forehead, I use the foundation. It's way darker than me. It's also the Maybelline SuperStay, and that's going to be in the shade Warm Coconut. So I go ahead, set some of that on my forehead, and then I blend for my life, honey. You gotta blend for your life. When you're doing makeup, that's the secret to good makeup. Just blend, blend, blend until everything just melts together and has a natural look in the end. So just go ahead and blend, blend. And it's always important to go around your face with a darker shade because naturally that's just how our skin works. The inside of your face, the middle of your face is usually a little lighter than the perimeter. So just go ahead and just keep blending, blending, blending until I can't blend anymore. I just take the excess product that was already on the brush from me contouring and use that to contour my nose slightly, just to give me a little bit more dimension to my face. I'm not a big nose contouring person. I like to keep it as simple and natural looking as possible. Sometimes the more I do, the less I like it. So I always try to pull myself back from what I would normally instinctively do and do less. So I go ahead and just go back into the Morphe palette and I take a lighter shade of orange and it's called Rush, and I take that and just create a little bit of a transition. And again, this is for like an everyday look, so I just want something that's going to mesh down well. So then I go in to the SmashBox LA Cover Shot Eye Palette, and I just take a little bit of that shade I showed you. It's called Venice Peach. I take a little bit of that and I just add it to my inner tear duct just to give me a soft highlight at my inner tear duct. Then I go in with, this could have been a Maybelline or Maybelline product review because I'm using a lot of Maybelline, but this is every day and I want you guys to be able to use products that are affordable. For the most part, everything is drugstore. I think the only thing that wasn't was the was the LA Cover Shot Eye Palette by Smashbox. So for my highlight, I like to take this another product by Wet n Wild, and I don't have the product on hand at the moment, but I believe it's the Halo line from Wet n Wild. And I just take that when I want to like really glow up and be like really glown. I just take that and add that to my little high points where I'm going to later on go in and add another highlighter. But that one just sets my highlight. So when I really want to like shine bright like a diamond, I set that under there, and it just makes whatever highlighter I use shine, honey. So it's starting to come all together. I'm going to line my lips. Nothing special. I think this is another little drugstore pencil that I used. Then I went in with a Loreal. I couldn't tell you what color it is because it's all rubbed off of my tube. But just a nice, soft, natural looking mauve color. I love mauve colors for my lips. Just a natural look. And I line that with a darker brown just to, again, you always want to add dimension and make things as natural looking as possible. And just like the face, the lips for most people tend to have a darker perimeter. So I just go in and line my lips and touch on my eyebrows and just giving myself the once over, seeing what needs some love, what I can do. I just wanted to soften that up a little bit. Just really blend that contour down. You want to be careful with the contour. Make sure it's really blended because you want to avoid too many harsh lines. And I didn't mention this before, but ladies, hit that neck a little bit for me because you can't be walking around two-tone looking crazy. So always bring that foundation down. Whatever is excess left on the blending, the beauty blender, just bring it down a little bit into your neck. Make sure everything is nice, even, smooth. So for my finishing touch, I'm just going to go ahead and clean up my contour with the Too Faced Peach Perfect. And that is all for today, ladies. Thank you for watching. Love you.